Timmerman. Been investing in real estate since 2019 or so. Um, I actively invest in small to medium multifamily and also do a lot of wholesaling. And that's where a lot of this stuff tonight came from. With my wholesaling business, we assigned with EOS and really strong into setting goals and doing them the right way. So that's where we got a lot of the information from today. But I host a real estate meetup group. It's actually meeting this week. We'll give you the flyer for that for anybody that's local at the end of this call. And that's where I met Ray. And Ray and I have been putting this on for 62 weeks in a row now. So
62 weeks of straight fire, Seth. Congratulations. Wow. Ray Glimp over 100 doors, $10 million in real estate plus several award winners. Biggest joy each and every Tuesday is coming here, spending time with you folks. Each and every Tuesday we stay sharp, man. We learn stuff. We talk about, we share. If you guys haven't been here, welcome. We've shared. I shared with you guys just now. Me and Triple H were talking on before. Something vulnerable that relates to his life doing and my personal life as well. And I think that's part of being in a group like this is being able to connect with people who are doing actively the same thing that you want to do or that you are actively doing. So thanks for being here, everybody.
absolutely. Real quick before we make any attorneys mad here, the views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of any organization. The content provided is for informational purposes only and should not be taken as professional, legal, medical, or financial advice. Listeners are encouraged to conduct their own research and consult with appropriate professionals before making any decisions based on the information provided in this podcast. And any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk.
Love it. All right. So typically this is our favorite segment, the Gold Diggers. But in an attempt for time, we're gonna actually have to skip this, unfortunately, just because we have so much information that we want to cover, talking about setting goals anyway. So this kind of aligns with you guys, but we want to talk about and want you guys to start thinking about the goals that you want to set this year for this upcoming year.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what we won't skip, breaking news. We got a big decision coming on. The Fed is likely to cut rates. Some people worried that it might not be the right move. We see in other countries, I think Canada, Lucia, you might be able to correct me, or Abraham, or one of you folks from Canada, you guys just had a pretty big basis cut. I think like 0.75% or something of that nature. Um, it was 0.5 basis. I mean, so your interest rate right now is 3.25, right? And in the US right now, that's free money. If I can get an interest rate at 3.25, I'm refinancing everything. COVID starts again at that point.
Only good for 5 years, right? That's for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only for 5 years for Canada. However, you go from what was your interest rate before? Like a 7, 8, 9? I don't know if Abraham could put it in the chat. I know you.
You muted Lucia.
It's all right. I'm pretty sure your interest rate was a lot higher than that, but 3.5% is in the States. We consider that as free money at this point. I would do a lot for 3.25 in this point in this day of life.
That's what everybody's chasing right now. That's what everybody talking about, creative financing and sub-2 deals and stuff. They're all chasing that 3.25 rate. We're trying to find the mortgages that have that.
Yeah, and so if you look at the outlook, we're not looking to 3.25 till 2027, 2028. You know, that is a long time for us. So you guys are way ahead of the curve. And I want you to think about, we added some here, what it exactly affects. And that includes mortgage rates, right? Credit cards, which people are being consumed in the States with credit card debt right now. We're looking at anywhere from like 25 to 30% interest on a credit card, which is, I mean, it's almost to the levels of usury. And I know some presidents have talked about capping how much credit card companies can actually charge. Auto loans is another big one. Affordability. People are keeping their cars. People are keeping their houses longer than they typically would just because it doesn't make sense financially. Student loans, another big one that people don't think about. And also your savings account, how much you can actually save. So typically, I believe when the rates go down, your savings rate goes down as well. So savings rate goes up. Is that right? Okay, I'll take your word for it. I'm rambling on. So these are the things that you guys want to think about. when we start looking at the rates.
Oh, no, it's backwards.
It goes
When the
down,
rates
right?
go down, when the interest rates go down,
The
Savings rate goes
rate,
down.
the savings rate goes up.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
it does the inverse of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. It's been a long day. I just want y'all to know that. Me and Seth has been on the phone for hours today. It's been a very long day, so.
Oh, it has, for sure. But cool. Now we're gonna go into principles for you guys for 2025. And I'm gonna do like an overview of just goal setting principles in general, looking at it from like a year in general. We do everything in my business on a 90-day cycle, on a quarterly cycle. And I'll get into that in a minute. But once you've done kind of the first part of this, then it makes it a lot easier moving forward every quarter and every year after that. But getting it set up the right way and really defining what you're doing is super important. But for this purpose in 2025, a couple of things that you guys as investors need to look at in your business and in your market and what you're doing right now for 2025 is first and foremost, we're just talking about like Fed rate and stuff like that. Like what market conditions in your market or trends should you be prepared for in 2025? Should you expect lower interest rates, higher inflation? Should you look at a higher level of appreciation, or are you on the side where you think that this is a bubble and that you can see values drop drastically in the next 12 months, right? All that stuff. We can make money as real estate investors no matter what the market's doing, no matter what the conditions in the market are, but we need to pivot to the most profitable strategies, right? Are we going to hold things short term? Are we going to take on flips that are going to take a long period of time because we can see that appreciation is going to happen? Or are we thinking that that bubble might pop and we want to, if we're going to take on flips, do we want to do things that we can get in and out of very quickly? Right? Like decisions like that are things that you're going to want to look for in the market for the next year to make your decisions on what you're planning. And then in 2025, based on all that stuff, what unique opportunities is out there that can align with my ultimate goal? Are you a landlord, a flipper, a wholesaler, a midterm rental person? What are you doing, right? Private lending, whole 9 yards. What are opportunities that are out there? Stuff that, Ray and Triple H and I were talking about before we started this stuff too, right? Like working with realtors to find transitional housing so that your short-term rental is more of a midterm rental by doing something like that. Like stuff like that. What are opportunities that fit into your ultimate goal, right? With your portfolio or what you're trying to build in your business that could be growth that are unique to 2025. And then the same thing for threats, right? What are things that are out there that could threaten your success? Things like a bubble, right? Like inflation that's going to cause rates to go back up, right? Cost of materials by tariffs and things like that they're talking about. Is that going to change your construction costs? Do you need to lock in construction prices now? There's a bunch of different things that you need to look at that are potential threats as well. Just kind of notate all that stuff. This is kind of what I'm expecting for 2025. So when you start really diving into laying out what your goals are, you understand where you're starting from for the next year, for the next 12 months. You got anything on that, Ray?
No, I think it's super important. This is, Seth and I said as soon as we get off of this call too, we're going to do some goal setting. And we're going to spend a lot of time doing this because you're going to line yourself up for what you need to accomplish next year. And I can't say it enough. And we've said it many a time on this call. Don't wait until next year to say, okay, I'm going to start doing something. Start it now, right? Let's stop hesitating and saying, okay, I'll do it next year. Because everybody who says, oh, I'll do it when New Year, it's not a habit for you. It's not going to be something that you're going to really cultivate. You might do it for a couple weeks. They say, I think the average person, they lose it after January, right? And then by February, if you're not really dedicated to it, you lose it. Figure out right now what these values are going to be and hold these principles. Start putting these things into practice right now.
Yep, absolutely. So with my business, with the EOS that we do is Entrepreneurial Operating System is what it stands for. But basically, it's just how to structure and run a business and things like that. Our fiscal year, our year actually starts in March. And so we've got in a couple of weeks, just the first part of January, um, we'll have our last quarterly meeting. And then in March or early April, that's when our annual meeting will be. So our year changes in between March and April. We did that so that we don't have this annual planning meeting around Christmas and New Year's and all that stuff. Like, let's make sure that our schedules align. Because when we do our annual planning for our business, just for my wholesaling business, it's a 2-day event that everybody that is in the management for my company sits in a room for 2 full 8-hour days to talk about our business, to talk about these opportunities and these threats for the next 12 months, what our goals are long-term and short-term, what's the most important things that need to be done. It's not something we just gloss over, but every single 90 days we get together and we do a goal setting meeting as well. So
That's something I want to stress to you guys. I don't want you to overlook it. Seth and his crew are spending 2 days full, 16 hours of saying, hey, this is how we're going to be better and this is how we're going to accomplish it. Don't give yourself 10 minutes to do this.
right.
I want you to think deep about it. I want you to write it down. I want you to put it somewhere where you can look at it every day, every week, every month, and hold yourself accountable. Set those benchmarks. I know I've met with all of you before, pretty much all of you, and we've all set benchmarks of where you wanted to be, where you needed to go, and those steps that you needed to take to get there. Great. Most of you have hit those goals, right? Most, if not all of you, have accomplished some step towards that next goal. Now, what's the next step, right? Are you comfortable where you're at? Great. If you're comfortable and you want to stop, you think you made it, kudos to you, hats off. But if you want to keep grinding, you want to go get it, let's write the steps down, start figuring out what your goals are and the things you're going to do to get to them.
Yeah. I think it's important too, like if you're a solo entrepreneur, right? Like with me, it's 3 people that are a part of the decision-making process in my wholesaling company. So when we spend 2 days together to iron out our goals for the year and start doing our annual planning and stuff like that, there's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of conversation and a lot of give and take and things like that. It gets heated sometimes because we're all passionate about the business. If you're a solo entrepreneur, you think, well, I don't need to ask anybody else's opinion. I'm just going to do this. Take a conscious effort to take time and think about it. Maybe it's not 8 hours all at once, right? Like sit down for 2 hours and then let it stew for a day and kind of think about it in passing while you're doing other stuff and then come back to it. Maybe it takes you, 8 hours over the course of 4 days to do this. Put a conscious effort towards behind this, and you'll see the benefits of it.
Love it.
What I laid out was 3 keys for goal setting that you need to do. The first and foremost is to have a laser focused vision. And this is 2025 and beyond, right? Like, unless you're planning on going out of business December 31st, 2025, like plan farther ahead. What's your vision? What's your goal? Where do you want to be? Ray wears a shirt all the time that says freedom. What does freedom mean to you, right? What does that look like for you? Figure out what that is and focus on that. What does that mean in 2025? What does that mean in 2035?
I want to jump on that too, laser focus. And that's a term I've heard first from like Dave Ramsey, right? Just laser focus, just get in there and crush whatever your goal is. And I hope that resonates with you guys too, because there are a lot of distractions. There are a ton of distractions. If you want to do something, I want you guys to master it. Right. I always teach you guys there's a lot you could do. Yeah, you can do Airbnb, you can do long term, short term, you could burr, you could fix and flip, you can do arbitrage. There's tons of things you can wholesale. Whatever you're gonna do, be laser focused and crush it. I don't want you guys to be average. There's nobody in this room that's average. You guys are taking time to educate yourself. You're not average. Most people are just hanging out, got their feet up, waiting on the big game, and watch the game, have a couple brews, maybe go out, grab some food. You guys are taking time to educate yourselves. You're not average. All right. Be laser focused with your goal that you were setting and make sure you are the best. I want you guys to be the best at whatever that goal is. I want you to be better than me at whatever that goal is. So that laser focus part is very, very important.
Yep, 100%. And It's super important even inside of real estate. Like some people have outside forces that pull them away from, they got a 9 to 5 job or a W-2 or, whatever it is or something like that, that pulls them away from the real estate investing. But even somebody who's full-time, 100% into real estate investing still has 75 different avenues that they can go. And it's
Yeah.
so important to get really, really good and become a professional at what you do.
Yep.
The second key that I put in here was SMART goals. We'll dive into that. You guys have heard me say it a couple of times before. We're going to dive into that. Written and reviewed constantly is kind of the key point of that, though. Obviously, we want to write down our goals. I shared a stat a couple of months ago. I think what did it say? 75% of goals that aren't written down never see to fruition. I don't remember what the stat was, but it's ridiculous. Write your goals down and then review them consistently. In my business, once we set our rocks, is what we call them, our goals for the quarter, they're reviewed weekly. We read them aloud every single week. I've got them on my board back here in my office. I see them every single day. And without seeing them and visually having them reviewed, you're going to forget them.
Yeah.
And then talking about the quarters and stuff like that, setting those goals up so that you have quarterly milestones and a roadmap to your achievement is super important. Just because you've got this goal that you want to acquire 10 properties in 2025, that's great. If you don't have milestones, you don't have a roadmap to get there, you're not going to get there. You're going to hit February and you're going to get bored of something. And all of a sudden it's going to be June and you're not going to have any properties. And you're going to be like, well, that goal's screwed and you won't do it anymore. So
here's the thing.
goals, bite-sized nuggets.
And yeah, let me even jump in. Seth, I want monthly goals, right? I want y'all to break it down monthly. For some of y'all, if you detailed, I want you to break it down weekly. Look, I want to make 100,000 this year. I need to do this amount of deals. I need to do this amount of passive income. These are the steps that I need to take. I need to make this amount of money every week, right?
Yep.
For some people, it might just be 100,000. You want to do 1 million? Great. Let's do 1 million. But these are the steps you need to take. If I'm short this week, I got to work extra hard next week to get that. I got to work extra hard this month to get that. Maybe I excel, James. Some people are January 1 starters. They procrastinate. They don't start till January 1. That's fine. But if you start in January 1, I need you to crush January. By February, you might be a little bit burnt out. But by March, might be ready to get back to it. So set those goals weekly, quarterly, monthly. Set them. All right. Write it down. Make sure you record it. It's very important.
Yep. I just dove into the 3 steps here. The clear and defined vision. Where do you want to be in 12 months? Right? That's the end of 2025. But where do you want to be in 3 years? Where do you want to be in 10 years? When we started our wholesaling business and we started getting into what we're doing with RealVestor Partners, my company, we decided that our 10-year target, our goal, our 10-year goal, which is for 2032, is we'll be in 15 different markets and we'll be wholesaling at least 100 houses in each one of those markets. That was our goal. We wanted to be more than one market, so we weren't market dependent, and we wanted to hit 100 transactions, and why not go ahead and hit 100 transactions in every single market? That was our goal. Everything that we do, our 3-year targets, our 1-year targets, our 90-day goals are all focused on that end goal. That is our laser focus. That's basically the address that we put into the GPS. And all of our goals and all that are our turns and our travels to get to that GPS.
And I want to comment to some of you guys that are here, because we've seen you not only accomplish some of your goals, but crush some of your goals, right? I want you to make bigger goals.
Yeah, that 10-year target, when you actually, we had a EOS implementer that came into my business and kind of showed us how to implement EOS into the business. So there's a professional that came and introduced us to the system. And when we were talking about the 10-year target, one of the things that he said, what's very important about when you're talking about your long-term goals is that they need to be audacious, right? They need to get you excited. They need to drive you, right? If I'm running a business that's in 15 different markets, doing 100 transactions in every market, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my family? What does that mean for my partners and my partner's family? That's what's exciting me. That's what drives me. That's when adversity hits. That's what's going to push me forward. That's my why, right? All the things that are going to come from when we achieve that those are going to solve my why, my daughter's financial stability, my freedom to be able to spend time with my family, my whys that are strong for me and my personal, they're all solved by getting to that end goal. If it's not audacious, it doesn't get you excited every single morning, you're going to fail.
Here's the thing. That's why I tell you guys to look at it, write it down and look at it.
Yeah.
Right? That will keep you and fuel you and fuel you to keep going. And I don't want you to just think financially, right? I know we talk money a lot. I want you to think about the time, right? Man, I just want my time back. Man, I hate this job. I don't want to have to go to this job. I know people who travel for work. My neighbor travels for work. Beautiful house next door. She travels. She travels 5 or 6 days out of the week. That sucks. I'm sorry to say, but that sucks. You have no freedom. Sure, you make money, but that sucks. Is that the life that you really want to live? What are the steps you're going to take? Hey, I want to reclaim 8 hours back of my time.
Yep.
What would that mean? I want to reclaim 2 hours back of my family time, right? I want to be able to turn my phone off and not be bothered for 2 hours. I want to take a vacation with my family, with my friends. Maybe that's as simple as your goal. I don't want to work anymore. Whatever that goal may be, I need you to iron it out and have it clear, right? Put it on your vision board, put it somewhere and watch it. The next thing you put, Seth, is when adversity hits, what is it that will push you to keep going forward? It's your why,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's simply your why. And I think about this and I correlate this. Oh, I love what I'm seeing in the comments too. Yeah, put it down in the comments if y'all want. I love what I'm seeing. It's your why though, right? When I look at people in the gym, I go to the gym pretty much every day. I haven't been posting. And that's one of my goals actually, is I need to start posting a lot more. I haven't been posting. I've just been laser focused, getting in there, ripping it in. And when I go to the gym, I see people 6 months later, a year later. And the only question I ask in my head is, what was their why? Why did they keep going? Right? My why is for my health. Like I wanted to be here. I want to be alive, make sure I could take care of my family. But what is their why? This guy who came into the gym, he's 400 pounds, and at the end of the year, he's 200. What was his why? Right? Was that drive strong enough to keep him going each and every day, back and forth to the gym, hitting the treadmill, spending hours just to be better? So you need to start thinking about, hey, what is my why? Will it be strong enough to keep me going even when it's raining outside, when it's snowing outside, when I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed? What will be my why? And that's what that is really what this is about. You can have goals of I want to be rich, but sure, why do you want to be rich? Is it the things that it can afford you, right? Is it the time you can be? What is your why? So when you hearing this, yeah, we talk real estate a lot, and this correlates directly with real estate. But what is your why though? Right? To any people that's in my private class or in an inner circle, you guys know, like, hey, we gotta have a why. You gotta have a why. Like, it don't work without a why. I can say, hey, look, I'm gonna lose weight at the gym because my friends think it's cool, and then my friends stop going, and then I get a new circle of friends, and I lose my why. Right? But what's your why? Think about
You
that
want
as
to
you
do
start thinking, defining your definition of your goals.
you want to do a good exercise. You ask yourself, what's your why? Why am I doing this? Right? You give an answer, whatever it is. Freedom of time. Right? Well, why do you want freedom of time? Answer that question. Right? Well, why do you want that? Answer that question. If you can answer it 7 times and get to the seventh level of an explanation, the seventh level of why, man, it's tough. It's tough to get there. But once you actually get there, you start really digging into what's important. And when you start writing those things down, right? Like the freedom to be able to attend any event that my daughter has, to make sure that her
Mm,
father is at every single event, period.
mm,
Right? Like that's not a base level why. That's a fourth, fifth level why. And that's what that she is 100% my why. Right?
yeah.
So understanding what that is, if you don't have that, you're not going to be successful as an entrepreneur. It has nothing to do with real estate. It has to do with just being an entrepreneur in general. You're not going to be successful because you're going to have hard times.
You're gonna quit.
You're going to be
Let's be honest.
you're
You're
going
just
to
gonna
be
quit, right?
yeah. It's going to be
Same
a lot
correlation. I go to the
easier.
gym and I see people. I'm like, yo, I didn't see you in 6 months. Oh
Yeah.
man, well, this. You quit. That's it. You about to give me some excuse of why you quit, and you finally found another why to get your butt back in here. It's as simple
Yep.
as that, right? So that is, and it sucks. Trust me, I hate going to the gym. There's things that I hate doing, but I know it makes me better. I'm gonna tell y'all now. I'm gonna tell it on Tuesday call too. I hate reading. Freaking hate reading. I listen the heck out of an audiobook, right? But I hate reading. I love to learn, but I hate reading. But at times I have to read because I know I can absorb the information a little bit better, right? That's my why. How am I gonna do it? How am I gonna accomplish it? I need to be better. I can't be the best person if I can't help you guys, right? How can I help you if I'm not trying to be the best at what I'm doing? So you got to find that strong why. You can't quit. When you're setting goals, make those goals so good that you understand, like, I'm not going to quit this. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to fail. It's life or death for me, right? If you think about this, if you got to keep working the same job for the rest of your life, getting paid the same exact amount of money for the rest of your life, are you free?
Yep.
If you're not free, then that's your answer right there. That's it. So when y'all setting these goals, make sure you understand this. Can you make decisions today and in 6 months from today that will drive you to the same place, right? If your decision today is not going to be good enough to say, you know what, I'm moving forward, I'm getting better, right? Because we know, I'm sure y'all all know somebody that's stagnant, and like everybody knows somebody that's just stagnant, right? They don't want to be. Ain't nobody in this group stagnant, but you know somebody that's stagnant that don't want to be better. They sometimes they're down on you.
Can
I
I say
hate to be.
something?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think people just need to recognize that any progress is still progress because they get lost in the sauce and they make these goals, but they don't recognize the small steps that lead to that
Oh
goal.
yeah.
So if in the first time that there's adversity, they quit because the fact that they didn't reach that goal immediately that they set. So they don't recognize that it takes one small step each way. And even if you take one step forward and two steps back, you keep going.
Y'all want to know something? I'll tell you. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna get vulnerable tonight because I'm preaching. I hope y'all don't mind too, because I'm speaking from the soul tonight. Um, I still remember the first time I went to gym. I actually looked at video. I recorded it, posted it, thought I was doing something, and I had been going to the gym for years. Didn't even really pay attention to it, and I didn't know it was working. Didn't know it was working until somebody said, "Man, Ray, your arms got bigger." Right? I had been doing all that work, but I didn't get any gratification. And nowadays, everybody wants that instant gratification. It's not real, ladies and gentlemen. It's very hard to get that. Very difficult. We might see
You got to give it
Bitcoin.
to
If
yourself.
if you talk instant gratification, you might get lucky on Bitcoin, and you might have got it at 70 and watched it go up to 100, right? But what about the people that have been holding it from $1,000, 10,000? They didn't get instant gratification. But you look at them, and you're like, man, he's super wealthy. He did really well. He held on. He had a vision. They had a goal. They knew what it was. I got family right now. My cousin, he's an electrical engineer and some other type of engineer. He's a smart guy, book smart guy. And he said, hey, Ray, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin until I get to the $1 million. I said, you crazy. He said, this is my goal. I'm not going to sell it. I think he has like 5 or 10 Bitcoin. He not selling, ladies and gentlemen. He said, I'm not selling. I don't care. This is my goal. I think he's silly, but whatever. To each his own. So kudos. I hope it gets to $1 million. Wait, you want to say something? Go ahead.
Hey everyone. So I just wanted to add to what you just said, Ray. If you're not posting on social media regularly about the projects you're doing, you got to start doing it because just because like maybe you're not converting, it's like going to the gym, like you just said. It doesn't mean it's not working. I was just at my Christmas party and my CEO found out what I was doing behind the scenes, and now he's the one who wants to interview me. So that just goes to show you the little bit of everything that you do and people talking about you. It goes such a long way. So I just wanted to add my 2 cents there.
It's the little steps that we are taking today that will mean something a long time from now. And you might not see it. It just adds up slowly but surely. Every day you get better and better. And it sucks because as humans, I heard this quote that how foul it is, and that humans, we have to live life forward, but watch it in reverse. Right? So all the things that you're thinking about, you're like, man, I understand what my dad did that for. Why my mom did that for. While you were living that life, you had no idea. But then when you look back, you understand it now. Right? And so what a cruel reality it is to understand that the things that you're doing and people are doing around you are part of your everyday life. Seth, if you want to, I think it's the next slide. Or if we're done with this one.
No, yep, you're good. Biggest thing on that, can you make decisions today and in 6 months from today that will drive you in the same place? If your vision is true, and it's defined and it's clear, then you're going to make decisions 6 months from today that are pushing you the same place that you made today, right? But if you're changing and your vision isn't clear and you're just kind of going anywhere, then you may do a complete 180 and start doing something completely different. So that's why it's so clear, so important to have that clear vision.
Yeah.
SMART goals. We've talked about this a couple of different times and stuff like that. I got a good example that I came up with for you guys as well. But all goals, no matter what, they need to be written in a way that there's no doubt about achievement. Bottom line, right? Like at the end, it's timely, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So there's a deadline. At that deadline, did you complete the goal or did you not? Bottom line, right? I kind of sort of did. No, you didn't, right? I crushed it or I didn't. One of the two, right? It's either a pass or fail. This isn't a participation trophy. Now, at the same point, right? I set that 10-year target that we were talking about, that audacious goal, right? Of 15 markets and 100 transactions in every single market. If 2020 or 2032 rolls around and my business has been together for 10 years and I'm at 80% of that goal, am I happy?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah.
Right? Like I probably still have a pretty good life goal, right? So that's the benefit of aiming high, right? Make it achievable, but aim high, push yourself. Guys, if you're not pushing yourself, it's what Grant Cardone talks about with his 10X and stuff like that. If you guys aren't pushing yourself, you're making excuses about why you haven't gotten it, right? Make specific, measurable, achievable, but pushing goals that are relevant to your business and time oriented. Write them out.
Yeah.
What I did here, and then Ray, I'll let you dive into it, right? But a common example of somebody that's a real estate investor that makes a goal for a year is I want to acquire 3 properties this year.
Yep.
Right? That's my goal. That is not. An example of a laser focused investor with SMART goals is I or we, if you're on the team or a solo entrepreneur, provide high quality housing to residents in the Cleveland, Ohio metro area by way of 2 to 3 bedroom single family residents acquired directly from sellers and stabilized through the BRRRR method with a minimum net cash flow of $250 per unit. That's a vision statement. That is the address that you put into your GPS. I'm killing the Cleveland, Ohio market with 2 to 3 bedrooms. I BRRRR them and I make $250 per unit. I want to build my portfolio doing exactly that. That is your vision statement.
And so let me comment on that real quick, Seth, because this is the part about being specific. Is you were super specific, like 2 to 3 bedroom single family. Like, oh, a 4-bedroom came across, don't fit my buy box. Boom. 1-bedroom house. Yeah, I want y'all to know, and y'all know, and I always preach don't buy no 1-bedroom house. I think I've seen like 4 come across my desk this last month or 2. Don't buy them, right? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a 1-bedroom house. Oh, it's a great investment. It could be Airbnb. Ain't nobody want it. But you being very specific. Then talk about single family rentals. I would even put in there, I'm going to do long term. I'm going to do short term. I'll be specific enough to say this is my investment strategy in it, right? Knowing and understanding you're going to master single family rentals, right? Because there's multifamily, there's single family. You have to understand that because I don't know if this was on a call or this was before the call. My day just goes together. But you have so many distractions in today's market. There's so many distractions. So keeping that laser focus will help you get to that next level, right? Whenever we start trading with new people, it's always, hey, what's your goal? It's always, everybody always says, okay, I want X amount of dollars. I want it to be free. How do you get that money though, right? How many properties do you have to purchase? Great, you need to purchase 2 or 3. How much do you need to get net income, right? Cash flow. How much do you need to cash flow from those? Having that underlined gets you to the next level. Retirement is not a time requirement. It is a math equation. And so a lot of people have been fooled with, okay, I need to work 60 years, or I don't even know how long you're supposed to work, 30 years, 40 years, and then you get your 401k and your TSP and your other pension programs and everything else. It's a math equation, right? So how much money do I need to invest on my own? How much money do I need coming in every month to live comfortable? Once you get to that live comfortable through passive investments, then it becomes, all right, I got time to play. But you have to set these goals. You have to break it down. Most people don't understand how to break this down at a numerical equation right? As a numerical equation to say, okay, I'm gonna be free if I get X amount of dollars. Just like you put the numbers in the bottom, cash flow, gross income, PITI, vacancy rates, management fees, capital expenditures. If you knew the real estate, you guys are just coming around. These are numbers we explain. Like we'll teach you it. You can screenshot it if you want, and then go learn it on your own. No problem. I'm here to educate. I want you to learn. But when you understand that math problem, it becomes, oh, I thought I needed 100 doors. You don't need 100 doors. You might need 5 paid off. You might need 10 paid off. You might come out, you only need 3 paid off. Right?
Yeah.
You might be able to get 3 in a year. Triple H, how many you got this year? I'm gonna call you out.
I got 2.
You got 2. Your goal was how many?
2.
Your goal was 2. Crush your goal, and you got one that you already have in. So
Yeah.
right now, if you were to stop, right, you paid off all your debt, you might be able to live pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So it's not, I need 10 or 20. I have 100 doors, ladies. I have over 100 doors. Sounds great. A lot of work. Be free. I'm free. I'm free in the mud right now. But there's more to it than just the finance. It is a mathematical equation. So as you understand that equation, this is my joy. Real estate is my joy. I get a passion. I don't know if you can tell from the way I speak. I have a passion behind this. I have a passion in educating too. So once you understand that math equation, it becomes easier to set your goal. And then once you have that goal set, it's just go out there and crush it. All right.
Yep. So this is an example of somebody that has written a vision, right? This is what they are, right? They are a landlord in Cleveland, Ohio that is developing a BRRRR strategy portfolio of 2 to 3 bedrooms that they're going to net at least $250 per unit. Now, if a 4-bedroom comes across, does that mean that they're going to pass it up and just never do anything with it? Absolutely not, right? But their core, what their focus is picking up 2 to 3 bedroom properties, burning them, and profiting $250 net per month. So a goal for this same investor that is smart is acquire 3 single-family residences directly from sellers through networking and direct mail marketing that fit my buy box, see above, right? Have a minimum of $250 monthly cash flow after a maximum 75% DSCR refinance. Because when you're talking about a BRRRR, the refinance, even though it's the last R, it's the most important one, right? So when we put that number there, now we know exactly what we're going to be pulling out so that we can do it again, right?
Yeah.
Now we're even putting in our formula. Cash flow equals gross income minus PITI minus 8% vacancy, minus 10% management, minus 10% CapEx. If I factor all that in and I come up with 250 or more,
The deal.
It fits my buy box.
The deal. And as we mentioned, I don't know who iPhone 621 is, but I want to know what your why. The guy that's running, if you can, put it in the chat because I want to hear what your why is to be running that night and getting to it, right? And trying to educate you. You got a strong why, right? So those are people I like to be around, I like to learn from because you're doing something that your heart is into. So kudos to whoever that is, and kudos to everybody here listening as well. I know Wade's at work, so I really enjoy this topic that we talk about because it's so important. Money can't be your only why.
No.
And if it is, you will not do well.
And when Ray was talking about it before, and I talked about the last step is that measurables, right? And it can be weekly, it can be daily measurables and stuff like that. And I highly recommend if you read the 12-week year, you'll see how you can break a 90-day goal up into very manageable steps that are action items for you almost every single day, just depending on how you want to do your measurables. But when I look at that 2025 goal and when it's achieved, what are the steps that I've already accomplished? Right? So I've achieved that buying 3 properties. What have I done to get there? Right? Think about it when you're writing the goal, right? When you've done that goal, now think about it. What are the things that I'm going to have to do? Because those are the steps, and then work backwards and find out what's the most important thing, right? Well, if I acquire 3 houses, it's going to be 1 house every 4 months. All right. In that area, I pulled the data for you guys. In that area, the 2025 FMR in a 3-bedroom is $1,229. Right. So a 3-bed with an ARV of $90,000 means that I can cash flow my 250 as long as I'm all in at no more than 67.5. So I need to look for 3 bedrooms that are ARV is right around $90,000. Does that make sense?
It's also
70%.
that's one thing too. It's like it's all about the reps, right? The more repetitious that you are, the easier it gets, and the faster you become to just like, hey, like as Ray and Seth mentioned in the past, it's like you look at it, it's like, yeah, that's not a deal, and you just move it along, because I know you guys get a lot of offers and a lot of like quote unquote deals that come your way, and through reps, it just makes it like second nature for you.
Seth and I probably looked at, I don't even know if today and this is week, probably like 4 or 5 deals. I
Yep.
know as we on this call right now, somebody just sent me 2 projects, right? So you want to be able to go through them. It takes practice. I know a lot of this stuff to some of you folks, if you're just tuning in your first time, you might look at these letters, these abbreviations and be like, what the hell are they talking about, right? I get it. But that's why we're here to work with you guys and share with you guys what the steps are. Don't be a unknown investor. Like I'm gonna share this with you, and people are looking to take advantage of you in this game. I just left a meeting. I had a meeting with a gentleman. He just sold one of his businesses. He sold it for $16 million. Hedge fund bought him out, right? He goes, "Hey Ray, I need to buy property, but I don't know what to buy." So he starts listing off these properties, and I'm like, dude, it's not a deal, not a deal. Why is it not a deal? So I start breaking it down to him, and he's like, I would have bought every one of those had I not known. And I said, look, you don't win by buying those. My goal is to get you the properties that are cash flowing. Great, you got money, but there's a lot of people that throw money at these problems. I don't want you guys, you might not have 16 million, you might have 16,000, you might have 1,600. I want you to win with that money though first, right?
Yep.
I need you to win because at 16 million, he could buy bad deals and be stuck. His goal of the 16 million was to make 100,000 a month. I told him that's easy. Piece of cake. We could get there. You got to buy the right stuff, right? But if he would have bought the deals he was looking at, he might be at 40,000 or 50,000, right? He might have hit $16. Wait, we're gonna have to go back to work. I need you to clock in a couple more hours, man. You're gonna get it with 16. We can make something happen, but I don't know. Might take a couple.
Wait till next Friday.
But yeah, hopefully you guys listening and this brings you guys some value as you're trying to set your goals. Steph, if you want to go into the next slide too, but as you start to set your goals, maybe your goal should be if you don't understand any of these terms, like, hey, let's book a call. Let's hop on. Let's just do a one-on-one call. Let's do it on a Tuesday. Say, hey, look, I don't understand any of this. Can you do like an intro to real estate on Tuesday? Cool. Send me a DM. Fine. We'll do subjects. If y'all have questions about subjects, we brought on specialists. I'll DM people. We'll do anything to make sure that we get you guys the knowledge that you need. And if I don't know it, Seth don't know it, we'll bring a specialist that know it. And if they don't know it, then we're gonna learn it. All right. We're gonna be better. Day and night, we're gonna be better. So that is take action. Jesus Christ, that couldn't have been
Don't buy just for the sake of buying. Like make
Yeah.
sure
Oh my
it
God.
makes sense.
Yeah, make sure it makes sense.
The biggest thing that I was kind of pushing home with that too, like look at how specific when you start getting stuff smart, look at how specific and how easy it is to work backwards to find that, all right, well, I'll make 4 offers a month, right? And I'm going to do that by sending out this many postcards, right? Like it becomes a math formula. Ray's talking about retirement as a math formula. Your goals can be a math formula too, right? You've got actions now. You need to make four offers every single month. Bottom line, right? How can you do that? You want to do that? You will find 3 houses cash flowing $250 a month by making 4 offers a month. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
To take action, just the final stuff, right? Write down your vision, make sure it's very clear, make sure it's laser focused. And what does that look like when you've achieved that vision? That's what's important, right? Like, what does my life look like when I've done it, when I've hit that freedom, whatever that freedom is? Well, what does my life look like? That'll define what your why is, right? Think about once you've done all this stuff and once you set these goals, think about what are out of these achievements that need to happen in the next year, right? What's the most important? Set those smart goals for 2025 and then break that goal into smarter segments, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. Maybe it's making 10 phone calls a day, right? Then damn sure hold yourself to making 10 phone calls a day, whatever it happens to be, right? That's all I got.
Oh, I ain't got nothing. That you kind of covered. You
Hey,
you covered that part.
hi Ray, can you hear me?
Who's that?
This is
iPhone.
the guy that was running.
Yes, yeah. I want to hear. Hey, can you turn your camera on if you can, if you don't mind? I want to
So
hear.
someone disabled my video, I guess because I accidentally turned it on. If you can disable me, I'll turn it on.
Hold on. Let me see. Access start video. There you go. Try to. You should be able to start it now.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah, there you go. I just want to hear what your why is, brother, because you
Yeah. Okay, all right. So this is not my first time accidentally turning on my video while I'm running and I'm supposed to be in a meeting. I've actually had an incident on a work meeting. It was a little embarrassing, but my managers were understanding. So I'm Sega. I'm from Maryland.
Maryland,
I've been
DMV.
following you for So following you for a while, and I try to be on the Tuesdays meetings as much as I can. So basically, for my why for running right now, I've been running for years. I've been a long distance runner for about 5 years now. My whys have changed over the years. Right now, my why is because it keeps me disciplined and gives me a sense of purpose and discipline. Having a why for something is not enough, in my opinion. That you may along the way, if you're not disciplined, you may forget or lose that why. And running kind of reminds me that initially when I started running 5 years ago, was my why was of more of, every time I run, I tell myself I'm running away from my past problems. That's how I started. And every time I run, it gives me the sense that, hey, I'm running away from the bad things in my past and, going to better, good things. And over the years that has changed. In 2023, I took on a big running challenge I'm not a professional runner by any means, to get a Guinness World Record. And I was actually able to achieve that. The first man to run a marathon while carrying a table.
Hold on. Can y'all put a clap in the chat for this man? Make sure y'all put a clap in the chat.
Table?
Congratulations.
Carrying a
Yeah,
cable and
so
running?
if you look up the fastest person to run a marathon with a table, or the fastest marathon with a table. So I ran 26 miles carrying a table.
I need you to
I gotta
put your
Google this.
I need you to put your Instagram or whatever your social media is in chat, if you don't mind sharing, because I want to make sure that we can all follow your journey too, because that is one, you very inspiring. Two, you would think that
Yeah.
we baited the community with this, but this is the point of setting goals. You have something in your mind. You are Guinness
Yeah,
World Record holder.
yes, and I would like to share a very crucial,
Yeah.
important experience from that experience.
Go ahead, brother.
So, if you need my social, my Instagram is I run the tables, and I'll put it on the chat later on.
Yeah.
So initially, when I started to decide to run with the tables, was for more of a peace mission. There was a war going on in Tigray, Ethiopia, where I'm from. The government was fighting with the rebels, and the war was going on for about 2 years. Between 2020 and 2022 was a very devastating war, and my family was involved, and I was basically handicapped. I can't do nothing from here. And one day, as I was running, this idea came up to me that if these two sides are not gonna come to the negotiation table, I'm gonna bring the table to them. And I had an idea of running a marathon. I had a marathon planned anyways, and to run the marathon with a table, to make a point, to make a call for them to end the war. And once I came up with that idea, I applied for Guinness World Record, and they told me to attempt and to finish in 4 hours. They gave me 4 hours, which was a very, very difficult goal. But my point was to get the word out about the war. So I trained, and I ran my first attempt in Washington, D.C. on the Marine Corps Marathon.
Is this you, brother? Is this you? I want to make sure I got the right.
Yes, that's me.
Wow.
That's me.
Congratulations.
Yes. So,
eh,
and I
go
did
ahead. Go.
run
You got.
in.
I got one more minute for you. Go ahead. Go ahead. And then I got
Okay.
a key
So
in. Yeah.
I attempted in DC. I finished in 6 hours. I was not successful in getting the record, but the word was out there about the war. But then I felt crushed because I didn't meet my goal of being on the Guinness World Record, and I signed up for another marathon. Took another 3 months between October and January to train. Went all the way to Arizona and tried, and I finished in 3 hours 59 minutes and 42 seconds, 20 seconds left basically. And one thing I learned from that experience was the whole time I was training, especially between October and January, was very cold, very difficult. I'm running out there on the street with a table on my back, and nobody understand why I was doing it. But I had one goal in sight, which was to get that record. And for me, I couldn't miss one day of training. It didn't matter if it was raining, or if it was cold, if it was freezing. There was a day that I had to take a Uber
Laser
back because my
focus.
hand froze, and I was
Yeah.
laser focused on that, getting on that record, and I was finally able to achieve it, and that was all because I had my sight on one goal, and which was to
Hey,
get that
I just
record.
want to say
So
one, congratulations. That is amazing, and I'm sure everybody in the group appreciates that. Two, I just shot you a follow. I'd never seen your page. I never knew who you were, but that's amazing. It's amazing who you meet on social media, and that's crazy that you folks could say like, "Hey, we met a Guinness World Record holder." Right tonight, you could say that, and he set a goal. Right. I just want to share that you like this is crazy. This is crazy to me. It's like
It
far
doesn't
fetched.
have to be, it doesn't have to be about real estate. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be about business, right?
It's
These
about being
principles,
laser focused.
these principles are important. He was laser focused. He knew that that was going to happen. He needed to do it because of the the stuff in his country and stuff like that. That was his ultimate goal. He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to make that statement, right? He wanted to say anybody can bring a table. It doesn't matter how far it is. And that was what he was doing. And he thought about it this way. And he said, no matter what, right? No matter if it was raining, no matter if it was snowing, no matter if it was cold, no matter what, I couldn't miss a single day. It's because his why was strong enough to get it.
And
Bottom line.
as we run out of time too, the Zach put mindset shift 100%. I know we run out of time. I just I love that for everybody here. Like that, I have you guys have no idea. Like this brings everything home, right? This just encompasses what life has been for. I know for me specifically too. Like we speak something and it manifests, and then all of a sudden we're in a room with the right person who correlates to it and understands it. So I thank you for sharing, brother. I really do appreciate it. It's great to see you on. How did you find us? Real quick.
on social media,
Okay.
on Instagram. So I've been
Okay.
following you on
Awesome.
Instagram and being on these meetings whenever I can.
Love it. Love it. Well, we're happy to meet you, man. Hopefully we can see you on our Wednesday call for sure. I'd love to hear more about your story. And then definitely make sure you send me a DM on Instagram, man. I want to talk further with you, man. Hopefully I can
Thank you.
bring,
I
if
will.
anything, maybe we can, record some content and I could bring some more, eyeballs to your purpose, at least, That's
Yep.
that's the purpose of social media. So Seth, next slide is do we have you got the event this Thursday?
I got, yeah, the event this Thursday is the 19th. It's actually my daughter's birthday too. So
Uh-oh.
I'm in a little bit of trouble, but I will be okay. Good news is that there's more hours than just the two that we're together. So I got plenty of time to spend with my daughter. I have freedom to do that, right? But anybody who's local, come on out. We'll have a couple of beers. We'll talk about Christmas and real estate and have a good time. And then the next free event for this Tuesday class will be January the 7th. So check it out then. And that's the Facebook page. New posts and stuff like that will be coming up there soon, talking about the next topics and things like that. And also in that Facebook group page, man, if you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about, anything that you guys want to learn, like Ray said, if myself or Ray, if we don't know it, we're going to bring on a professional and they're going to show it.
Yeah. And same thing posted in the school community as well. I've been sharing some stuff. I've been neglecting sharing some stuff too. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I've got beat up like the past 2 weeks. I went from completely nothing going on to like swamped with work to get into before the end of the new year. And I think after next week, my weeks, my year is over pretty much after next week because I'm taking the rest of the time on family time and crucial items. But it's over for me. So we're grinding it out. Seth and I are going to take some time to figure out how we can make this better, and take it to the next level. And then we have our own goals on real estate. Seth, I'd like to do, and I don't know, me and Seth might record this. I don't know if you're up for it, Seth, but I want to do either like a wholesale and a flip into 100,000. Right? We start with zero. We start a different count, start with zero, and show the journey of going from 0 to 100K and see how long it takes us. I think we can do it in 6 months.
Yep, without a problem.
We got a deal right now that'll be 30,000 right there.
Yep.
Right. So 6 months to flip to 100,000. We'll show you guys. We'll record it. We'll show it on the inner circle. We'll show it on the inner circle exactly what we did to get from 0 to 100,000, how long it took us.
I like that idea because I think Frank Cardone did the same thing where he started with zero and he made it up to like 1 million in like a month.
Yeah, I think it's $1 million net or net worth though. So it's a little bit different. And that at that day and time, I would love to see them do it now. It's different hustle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not impossible. Let me see what else we got in the chat. Inner circle needed tonight. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, give my guy, or I'll run the table. Give him I don't even know how you saw me on social media. He wasn't even following me, but it's crazy. I'm following you now, man. I'm watching your journey, so I'll let us see it.
It's the algorithm.
It's the algorithm. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. Warren Buffett. So make sure that you guys
Warren
understand.
Buffett was talking, I think he was talking a little bit more about education, right? Being knowledgeable and stuff like that. But also, if you don't know where you're pointing, if you don't have the vision, right, then you don't know what you're doing. You need to know where you're going in order to get that. It's not risk. The only time it's risk is if you're pointed in 17 different directions. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. Get that focus, get the goal. Let's crush it this year, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Seth will see you all in 2 weeks. We'll see Wednesday Inner Circle tomorrow at 12 o'clock. But then after that, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. We're taking a well-needed break to refocus and then come to you with next year with some heat. I'm ready for next year. So to everybody, thank you again. This has been this was unexpected. I just want you to know my heart kind of beating just hearing that. Like, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
So you never know who's going to be in the room at what given time to say something. So thank you all. It's been a great pleasure, and we'll see you all tomorrow on our Inner Circle call.
See y'all later. Have a good one.